Wow. You know, if you're looking for a charge of positivity to get ahead of the curve and help steer the conversation towards freedom and fight tyranny, we've got a follow-up to a recent story for you. Check this one out. Hundreds of supporters from as far as hundreds of miles away turned out Saturday, June 20th to support Massachusetts business owner David Blondin in his existential battle against the insulting, rights-trampling lockout imposed by the government on him, his business, and his clientele. You know, perhaps the Sons of Liberty would be proud of this one. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV. Well, as reported on Friday, the 19th of June, David Blondin is the owner and proprietor of Prime Fitness and Nutrition in Oxford, Massachusetts. And he's been pushing back against the weight of the Massachusetts government, as Charlie Baker, the Republican governor, and the bureaucrats of Oxford, Mass, have decided that they don't want him to reopen. And of course, since he chose to reopen on May 18th, contrary to Baker and the town's edicts, he's run into some problems.
Locks being changed. Another step as the town of Oxford seeks to force Prime Fitness to close. Overnight, the town shut off water and electricity.
Blondin told reporters recently that he had to pay his bills. And despite the Superior Court telling him to close, despite the local government on May 22nd hitting him with a $300 per day fine that was bumped up to $1,000 per day last week. And by the way, that is a fine that the town attorney, Mark Reich, wants to increase to $3,000 per day, according to the owner, and with a little tip of the hat to you-know-who, the Great Rush. Mr. Blondin did not give up. While Blondin was in bed Wednesday night last week, the town had his power shut off. And when he opened the gym and the nutrition store, which is attached to it, on Thursday morning, and while clientele exercised using headlamps and camping lights that they brought and he brought, Oxford bureaucrats arrived. And with other functionaries, they shut off the water to the building. And in a conversation with Boston radio host Howie Carr, and hats off to Howie and his team for doing this, Mr. Blondin explained that he's filed a lawsuit against the town and against those who assisted in the crackdowns. Then he noted that the town also changed the locks on the business, locking him out of his own establishment. And check this out. A visibly stunned Howie Carr asked him,
"So are you gonna stay? Are you gonna remain open?"
So right now the doors are locked, so I can't even get into my building.
Why? Who locked the doors?
The town changed the locks. All the locks on the doors are all changed now.
The town changed the locks?
Yeah.
Who did that? Who did that? Did they hire somebody, or was it somebody from town hall?
Yeah, they hired a locksmith, so they'll be part of the lawsuit as well.
What happened to the old common law? I'm telling you, jeez, nobody even knows anything about it anymore. And until now, the statements of town attorney Reich left it unclear as to who shut down the power, whether it was the landlord of the Prime Fitness space or it was the town. In a public offering, Reich used the passive voice last week, saying the locks had been changed, which of course does not attribute the action to any party at all. But now, the Boston Herald has confirmed precisely what Blondin said, writing, "The fight between the gym and the town escalated earlier this week when town officials changed the locks at the gym and turned off the lights and water." And that, combined with all the other injustices linked together in what Thomas Jefferson might have called a long train of abuses and usurpations, has not only spurred Blondin to fight in the higher courts, but also to tell others and protest in a large public gathering without masks, contrary to the many facets of Governor Baker's unilateral crackdown issued since the start of this absurd exercise in anti-constitutional authoritarianism. Simply put, not only are most of the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution at stake when Mr. Blondin and his friends stand up for his rights to operate and their rights to freely accept his invitation to enter his business and engage in peaceful commerce, a key, often overlooked provision of the U.S. Constitution is also at stake. It's called the Contract Clause. It can be found in Article 1, Section 10, and ensures that no state government will interfere with the fulfillment of a private contract. And by the way, here it is, should the politicians in Massachusetts, and specifically the town of Oxford, want to read it and awaken from their authoritarian fever dream. No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. Of course, given their track record, it's highly unlikely that any of those politicians will bother reading the document that is supposedly the rule book for all their offices, and it's highly questionable whether any of the politically appointed judges who could hear Blondin's case will pay attention to their so-called rules either. But Blondin and his supporters are actually of pretty good cheer. Thousands got to hear his conversation with Mr. Carr, in which Blondin noted,
but you're out of business. Walmart, one of the biggest corporations in the world, is operating, but you can't operate Prime Fitness and Nutrition.
Nope. So actually, it's funny part because I have two businesses. Is the gym is what was supposed to be shut down, but the store was supposed to be open because that was essential. But they shut the entire building down and shut down both businesses now.
And people from all over the U.S. have sent their words of support to his Facebook page. And as a way to salute Baker, Blondin wore a crisp white t-shirt emblazoned with the words, "My governor is an idiot." Smiling in the face of adversity, trying to function as a peaceful person, offering services to people and allowing them to exercise their free will even as they exercise their muscles, Mr. Blondin distinguishes himself from the forces that have been trying to crush him. Indeed, it's very likely that Sam Adams and the Sons of Liberty would have welcomed him to the Tea Party. In fact, Mr. Adams and the Sons of Liberty probably would have been with him on Saturday, rallying in front of his gym and trying to find out how they could get their own versions of his fantastic t-shirt. Thank you so much, everybody. Hey, by the way, on the subject of t-shirts, I'll bring that up first. If you want some great MRC t-shirts and other items, head to MRC-store and check them out. Grab some because they get many leftists very frustrated when they see the items. And also, head over to MRCTV.org to find out everything that the whole team is doing. And please subscribe and like on YouTube. I'll see you in the comments section. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.